digits, I got bands, I ain't scared to spend it.
If we ain't talking about no money, I can't comprehend it.
If she ain't thick, if she ain't fine.
Hello out there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Please Advise, which I hope is becoming one of your favorite advice channels. Here today I have with me one of St. Louis's rising stars, rapper, producer, and DJ, the one and only Mr. Killa Bee.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, man.
No, thank you so much for coming on. Definitely glad to have you.
Oh man, like I said, I'm happy to be here. If it ain't nobody like you doing what you doing, man, we wouldn't be nothing. So we want to definitely give you your flowers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I feel like, that definitely goes twofold. If I didn't have people to bring on and talk to, I wouldn't have nothing to do either. So I guess it's a mutually beneficial situation.
Yeah, we need each other, let's say that.
Absolutely. So for today, like I said before, we even got on film. I told you today I want to kind of talk about the man behind, I guess, the music. We all know you from all of your songs that have been on the radio, certain shows we've seen, appearances that, we've seen you in. But I guess this is a chance for those out there who don't know you to kind of get a chance to know you. Besides just, the songs you got out, the hype man in the club, we want to know Mr. Killa Bee.
You want to know who Killa Bee really is.
Absolutely. That's the best way to gain a fan. For us to actually know who you are, to be able to relate to you, and grow with you along your journey.
Definitely. Okay, yeah. It's so much. I hope you got the time. Let's just do that.
We got a little time.
Oh, man. So, first off, like I said, appreciate you having me. I am an artist, like again, from the Midwest, the East St. Louis area.
Okay.
And I have started producing, I did do the rapping. Well, I'm still doing it, but the DJing thing was kind of like where I started, you know what I mean? So I did the DJing thing. I started back probably in like the early 2000s, maybe like 99, 2000.
Okay.
So I started DJing probably around that time, and I did it for up till now. I still do it actually, and I just go with it, and I just have fun. But really, I felt like at some point I wanted to venture over to rapping. Once I felt like I accomplished what I wanted to do with DJing.
Okay,
and
so DJing was first, and then came rapping.
Then it came to rapping.
Okay.
Actually, it came to producing, but that only came because when I started rapping, I didn't have nobody to make beats for me. So I was like, I need some beats. So I just started trying to make the beats, and I took off with that, and I was just like, I'm gonna do that. But then once the rapping started really picking up for me, it was more like, okay, at this point, I don't have time to do all three.
Right.
Because that's a lot of jobs. That's 3 jobs. I can't be Kevin Gates. I get tired sometimes. So
don't we all?
So I'm like, one of these gonna have to drop out. So I was like, you know what? I know people who do produce. I just work with them.
Okay.
So I just kind of like went that route with it. So did that. I actually started rapping probably when I hit freshman year of high school. So, and the story about how I started is really crazy though.
Because I was gonna ask.
It's crazy because I was a Soulja Boy fan.
Okay.
I'm a fan of what he did when he first came out. Not what he is now. Not Big Draco right now.
Okay.
Like I ain't got nothing against him, but that ain't what got me to be like, okay.
So
that's
yeah,
because it was iconic. You know what I mean?
It really was.
It was like really somebody else came with, like, the Franchise Boy had a Lean with the Rockers, so they had a dance.
Yeah.
But it was like they still kept it like,
and we had the
that club, right? Which that came around the time. That came around, which I take it as the DJ when he came with the 2-step.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that came around the same time that Soulja Boy did.
Right.
So I'm like, that dirt is just crazy how he was able to make a dance song and people love him for it. Like, he didn't have to rap about being in the streets. He didn't have to rap about having a hard life. He just made a song about just doing a dance.
Yeah. And
people loved it.
And did the dance.
Exactly. So I was like, and I saw one of his shows, and at one of his shows, he was standing on stage, and the song, that first part, that part you just said, that Yule part came on, and everybody went crazy.
Yeah.
He didn't even, the song, he made his DJ stop, and they kept screaming for him, and he just standing around looking like maybe he had one of the moments where it was like, this can't be real. This can't be real. He took his shades off, they went crazy. They got even hype. So I'm like, I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I could do that. So that's somewhat got me started. And then, being like, I used to listen to like Nelly, the Looney Lunatics. I always been a fan. You know, of course, St. Louis.
Right.
But just the fact, just going beyond just because they was just from St. Louis, it was more about their music. You know, the skills that they had. So I was a St. Lunatic fan. Then we had an artist over there called Raw Reese, and I was a fan of his. So I'm like, man, these people, you know, influenced me to just really be, you know, doing the rapping thing. So I was like, I want to be an artist. And I told that to my dad, and he was like, I was always shy though. Like, I never talked on the mic. He was like, how you gonna be a rapper but can't talk on the mic? And I was like, I'll figure that part out when I get there. Like, I just want to see how it works. And what I say, by almost maybe like 10 years later, but I had to learn a lot of stuff along the way. But you know, 10 years later, man, I love it. You know, I have fun with it. You know, I feel like me doing what I do, the type of music I do, because I don't just stay in one style. I do every style. I want to bring the party back to hip hop. So that's what I've been trying to do. Just bring the party music back to hip hop.
I get that. And it's funny that you do bring up, you know, Nelly and the St. Lunatics as one of your major influences, because when I hear their music, I'm not saying you sound like them, but what I'm saying is that St. Louis sound.
Right.
That's exactly what I hear. Like, even earlier today when I was playing it, because, you know, of course I knew he was coming, so I had to brush up. So, you know, I had it going in the background, and I'm like, you know what? This sound a lot like the type of music that they did. It's feel good music. It's not real heavy bass, but it give you a good track. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of music. I definitely, you know what I'm saying, can see that influence in your music now.
Definitely. That's just what I do. So I just like to have fun with it, because it seemed like that's what, even though they was telling their life, they had a good way of expressing it, where it's not like, oh, I came from this part of life, so I'm gonna make you feel this type of way. They just explaining their situation. So, but then you did have tracks like, you know, Ride With Me, that was real good. That was, you know, not just based on one type of person. You know what I mean? It's based on everybody who just feel like, you know what, I can ride to this music.
And I think that's one of the things that attracts a lot of people to rap music. Let me rephrase that. Not hip hop. I'm talking about rap music, where they actually tell stories through the songs.
Right.
That's what attracts people to that type of music. The story and the way that they tell it, because I mean, they can be telling a story about, you know, waking up and walking to the store, but it's the way they tell it. You know what I'm saying? What they seen along the way. It's all the euphemisms, all the analogies, all that type of stuff. Like, wordplay is a motherfucker.
Yes.
And rap artists, they have to have their skill.
Yeah, because if you don't, they're gonna be like, you're trash, or they're gonna look at you as a person that not that interesting. That's what makes people interested about you, because you're telling a story about you, and they actually get to know you through a song without having to meet with you. That's why people be so crazy about these artists, because they feel like they know them because through their music, how they've been touched through it.
Yeah.
So they like, man, I know their story. They feel like they know that artist, so that's why they just love them.
But I feel like they really don't know them, though.
Right, but they only getting a sneak peek. But the little that they are getting from them, they feel like they know them. But when you really get to know them, they be like, man, it's like, it's deep. Like, dude, that's
just
crazy.
like me. Could have been me.
Exactly.
I think every day, well, not every day, but I think of it because it's coming up soon. My birthday coming up September 27th.
Oh, well,
by the time this airs, it'll be past that. But anyway, thank you. But I think about me and Lil Wayne, born on the exact same day, the exact same year. This Negro has hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, and I think about that sometimes, like, not only that, but just other people, you know, in different relations. It's so funny how, you know, two people can come in this world on the exact same day, and they life go two totally separate ways. Like, he probably can't even imagine a life as boring probably as mine, and I can't imagine
a life as extravagant as his.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's definitely, it's true. It's actually true. Now that you speak about it, it's like, yeah, like, you share a birthday with somebody that's here. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like you said, you went two different routes. Yeah. So it's like, how would they feel if they was in your shoes?
I don't know.
How could they? But then again, though, some people probably would prefer that.
You never know.
Exactly. So your life might be boring, but realistically, it might be the life he wants.
It might be. The grass is always greener. until you get there.
Exactly. So you can see him. You like, man, he's got hundreds of millions of albums or dollars and all that. But you might see his life and be like, get to experience just a little bit of it and be like, you know what? I don't want that.
I don't want the problems.
I don't want it.
I don't want the problems.
So it's just like you just be able to say, hey, look, I'm happy and honored I can share a birthday with a person that's successful.
Exactly.
That's it. You anything else, like you said, it's just a privilege, and sometimes it might not work out in your favor. So
true.
So that's why with me, with the music, that's why I say I just write based on me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I need to tell somebody else's story. Like, I just tell my own story. So when I tell my stories, people will kind of at least get some idea of who I am. So, and then I also just do songs just because it'd be fun to do them. But my real stuff is just like, you'll know the real me from just me having fun and me actually telling you who I am in my music if you listen to it. So that's whew. You got me thinking now, because I'm like, I share a birthday with a few people. And I'm like,
I see. That's so random that I would think about that right now. Like I said, I just think about it from time to time. But I feel like you skipped a lot. You jumped like right into your professional career.
Oh, you want me to get to my life story?
Slow down, bro. Okay, so I was gonna ask you where you was from, but you already told us that it's from East St. Louis.
Yeah, I just figured, you know what? Let me let them know, because some people don't even understand. Like, when I run into people, I guess people that was in the time that I came out and DJ with, they don't understand. They know, but the people who like new to the scene don't understand that I've been in this game 20 plus years. Right. But people wouldn't know that. Right. But the fact that me telling them, okay, let me do this, let me tell them. First of all, y'all, some people try to be like, oh man, who is that unknown cat? You can't do that with me. And I don't mean to sound braggy about it, but you couldn't do that. Like, you can ask anybody from that era of where I came up DJing till now. You can ask them, and they will tell you. Oh, they tell me now, and I still don't, and it's not nothing like cocky or arrogant, but people always be like, I run into a lot of older DJs, a lot of the new ones, they be like, dude, you are a legend. Already. And me personally, I don't be like, oh man, I'm better than anybody, you know what I mean? Because, the next person after me could be 10 times better than me, you know what I mean? So I don't never come off that way, but the fact that they acknowledge that, they like, dude. So I just try to tell people so they be like, oh man, he ain't he a nobody. I'm not gonna let you downplay me, but I am gonna be humble about it. Like, you can really check my track. So I was like, that part was more so let people know, hey, this ain't nothing new. This is me. Now, as far as my life, shoot, I love to fish, shoot, walk in the parks. Like, I hate to sound like I'm on a dating site, but walk in the park, man, I just enjoy the little things. I have a son, I have a wife. I enjoy the little things. So, I am, like, again, I did say before, I am from East St. Louis, Illinois. And for the people who are watching from other states, it is an East St. Louis, Illinois. Some people don't think it's an East St. Louis, Illinois. It is. It's two separate cities. There's a St. Louis, Missouri, then an East St. Louis, Illinois. So, just clear that up. But like I said, I do like to fish. I do like to hang out with my family. Man, there's so much about me that to me, it's normal, but to somebody else, it's like very interesting. What I want to know is, how does a kid that grows up in East St. Louis, Illinois, become like a local DJ? Like, how do you get into that? You first gotta have determination of where you want to go. No, I think you misunderstand the question. I want to know how you got into it. Okay. Me, again, I was determined. Well, first of all, how I got really originally into it. Yes. My dad was a DJ. Okay. And he had been DJing for years. And, when you're a kid, you follow up behind your parents. You know what I mean? And my dad was the person I followed up behind. So when I saw him DJing, I'm like, you know what? My dad do it. I want to do it. But then when I really started getting into it, I fell in love with DJing. Okay. So that's how I started DJing, and then I just started watching the tapes that he would watch. I started, kind of mimicking his skills and everything he would do. And I'm like, you know what? One day I'm gonna challenge him, because I feel like this was years later, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna follow in his steps, you know, let him lead me to how to become the DJ that I am. And some of that stuff, it plays a life lesson too. It's not only just about DJing, you learn life lessons in the midst of that situation. So with me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow up behind. So I did everything that he told me I needed to do when it came to DJing, and he taught me lessons. So I just kept going with it. So when he would go to some gig and DJ, I would be there. You know, a lot of people like, nah, I want to go hang out with my friends, I want to go do this. I would go with him. So I'm like, you know what? I want to be just like my dad. You would want to be just like your parent that you look up to. Right. So I did everything he did. Okay. So with me, like I said, somebody else's story might be a little different how they would do it. But me, I just felt like I wanted to be like him. So I did everything he did. But when I started getting older, I started realizing, okay, he was teaching me life lessons in the midst of that stuff too. So I took all of that and was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So he taught me, again, how to be humble. You know what I mean? He was a well-known DJ. Like everywhere we went, everybody knew him. You know what I mean? But he wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm there. He'd be like, man, what's up here? And everybody like, man, you know, this and that. Like, he is a superstar. He would just act as if he was just like anybody else. So I learned a lot of that stuff. So for me to come up and be up under him was just like, okay, this is how he do it. This is what I'm going to do. So to answer your initial question, how did, you know, a person like me do that? I just followed what I was inspired by. Okay. Who influenced me to be the person I am, which was my dad, because I wanted to be just like him. So that's what I did, and I just followed with it. Now the rapping part, which he still did it, but he didn't rap. He was a singer. Yeah. That rapping part, just like I said, it came from that one story about the Soldier Boy incident. But everything else was just based off of who my dad was and me following behind him. So that's how I came up in the DJing game, man.
That absolutely answers the question. It really, really does. Like it's so amazing when you speak of, you know, your father being such a big inspiration. Like I didn't grow up. My biological father wasn't in my household, but I had a stepfather. He was always a male role model, even though you know our career paths are totally different. But he did always set a good example of, you know, what I guess a man should be, you know, how we should carry ourselves, responsibility, like you said, humility, you know, those types of things. So I just wanted to, you know, kind of reiterate that, although you just spoke on it, it's just amazing that to hear somebody else speak it, you know what I'm saying, is nice to have that in common with somebody, I guess. Yeah, definitely. It's nice to say, nice to be able to relate to.
Yeah, if you don't got that, you know, you just got somebody who just kind of walking lost. You know what I mean? They kind of lost as they going. So yeah, definitely.
So what about high school? How was high school for you?
It was actually interesting. I wouldn't say it was fun, but it was interesting. Like my first year, because first I actually...
Where did you go to high school first off?
I went to East St. Louis Senior High.
So you just East St. Louis through and through.
Well, but see, that's the thing. So I was actually in another school district before I got to East St. Louis. I was actually in Edwardsville, Illinois. Okay. So I went to a middle school called Liberty. So I played on the basketball team there, and we would play East St. Louis. Right. But my dad living in East St. Louis and me visiting him all the time, I made friends with them. So when I got there, I knew people. Yeah. But I didn't know everybody. I didn't know, like, it's kind of like a different experience, a different environment, you know, when you go to a school like Edwardsville and then go to a school like Eastside. You know, when you jump to different cities, it's a different
I know why. I know why.
You know,
but
it's kind of a bit, you know, like a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, a lot of bit of a difference actually, but
you know, well, I was fortunate enough to be able to go through both of them. Some people just be here and then just transfer over here and be lost. Right. I was able to, you know, go here, go there, go there. So it was interesting. My first year, I enjoyed it. You know, like I said, it was a new experience for me, just being there 100%, not just, you know,
on the weekend.
So it was like, okay, it's cool. It wasn't nothing bad about it. You know, I think my sophomore year, it started getting very interesting because I actually met one of my best friends. So that year, we actually formed a rap group. That's the crazy part. We formed a rap group that next year. Like, I started by myself and then formed it with him the year later. And at that point, like, by that then, I was already DJing again everywhere he would be. So when I got into my sophomore year, I started DJing all the school events. Really?
Okay, so you was already Killa Bee at this time.
Yes, I was already Killa Bee.
When did you become Killa Bee, and where did Killa Bee come from?
Okay, so my grandmother was a blues singer.
Okay.
And her name was Honeybee. Now, the beat came from the middle names that we had, and she was like I said, she was a blues player, like a blues singer. She knew all the blues players. My dad was her drummer in her band, and his name was Lonnie B.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I want to be something different. I don't want to go, because everybody would, when I first started, everybody would be like, oh, that's Lil Lonnie B, DJ Lil Lonnie B. I'm like, I don't want, that's too long. Yeah, I don't want to be that. Yeah. So I was like,
not Lil Lonnie anyway.
Exactly. Like, I'm like, I don't want to be Lil Lonnie B. Yeah. Like, nah, that ain't gonna work. So we was riding in the car one day. My dad, I was like, man, I love the DJ, but I need a name. Like, he was like, yeah, we still gotta figure out the name. And he was just like, we're gonna name you Killa Bee. And I was like, at that time, I was just lost, because I'm like, where did that come from? Like, Killa Bee?
How old were you at this time?
I was probably about maybe 10.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 years old.
Also, when you say you started DJing young,
I was young. I grew up in it. My dad.
I thought you meant maybe like 14, 15-ish.
No. They got me on video at 2 years old. DJing.
What?
Now, it wasn't no needles on.
I mean, yeah.
But I was doing, like I said, I wanted to mimic my dad. I wanted to be just like him. So I was doing all his moves.
That's crazy.
Everything he was doing as a DJ, I was doing up there on them turntables. And people was just like, dude, this dude gonna be a DJ. Like, it's a no-brainer. He's gonna be a DJ. If not, he's gonna be a music really heavy. And that's how I grew up. I grew up into the music really heavy. So I listened to older music that was back in the 70s, 80s. I listened to those like I would listen to something that just came out last month. Because I just, in tune with that music.
Yeah.
Every era, every generation. So, yeah, I started early. So, by that age, 10 years old, I was already DJing. I was already doing everything. I just didn't have a name.
So, back in those days of DJing, that's when y'all had, like, I guess,
vinyls. I remember, vinyls, turntables, and hauling crates of records. Like, I had my own set. Like, I know they was doing it back in the day. Yeah. But when I was that point, I had 2 crates of records.
Because I remember when I would go to the school dance and I would see the DJ and he would have, like 4, 5,
crates
back there in the bag. But now today they just bring their little laptop
easy.
and
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When I came out right before those records started to, because when I came out it was just records, and then it slowly moved over to CDJs where you can use CDs inside of it.
Right.
Then it went back to these, like the turntables, but they came out with software that could kind of be the records. You know what I mean? Be the songs you're looking for.
Oh, okay.
MP3s, all of that.
Okay.
So I came out right before it switched over to CDJs. So now when you look at DJing, it's so easy. Like, they got the controller that could be the size of this, all one piece.
Correct. They do
Back
have
then,
one.
Yes, a person go up, set up, plug it in, one wire go to the laptop.
Yeah, they be DJing.
Then it was turntable, mixer, turntable.
Okay, and you have to explain what those things do.
So the turntable is the platter, right? So what it does is, if you've ever seen vinyl before, you just put the vinyl on there, whatever. Okay. That will be the left, because it's on your left side, so you would use it. The mixer is where all the sounds from them turntables are going through.
Like the push out.
Yes, everything you're hearing is going to go through the mixer, come out the mixer into the speakers.
Okay.
And you're going to hear it all. Well, actually, it goes into an amp and then a speaker.
Okay.
So that's what those are. But like I said, now it's just like it's a controller, and all of that stuff is built in to the point where you just take a USB cable, like if you was to plug up your printer or any camera or something, plug it into your computer like a USB, drop a song, and scratch it. That's it. But back then it was, if you like, I'm just gonna use records from this time. If you was trying to play some Lil Durk or Lil Baby, you would have to turn You got like you said,
it.
you got
Yeah.
you would see DJs crates stacked up.
Yeah.
You got to go through each crate to find what you're looking for. Some DJs would know what crate has what music, but you would have to go in there, and if you had one record, that was it. You couldn't do nothing else but play that one. So you couldn't, nowadays you can switch from the left to right and it still be the same song.
Well, I don't know, but okay.
Then it was just like because some DJs now they'll scratch it and be like, boom, go with this one. Then you'll see them scratch this one and boom, it'd be the same song. Like if you was gonna scratch every chance I get. Trust me, it's not as complicated, but if you pay attention, it would be like, dang, they got it so easy.
But you know what? I know what you mean by how quickly they go through the songs though, because I could even remember back, like I said, going to school dances. Sometimes it would be that pause in between songs. Like now, it's just continuous.
It just goes. That's
so they can make a playlist at home.
Yeah, realistically, how easy it is to DJ, and I'm not trying to downplay it, but you could be a DJ.
I don't know if I could be a DJ.
It's easy. It's technology has advanced so much that you can go and buy everything you need at a decent price.
I mean, I
just play and go.
But I feel like, as with any craft, there's still some know-how behind it.
Yeah.
Like, I could buy the software and I could buy the equipment and I could function as a DJ, yes, but I wouldn't really be a DJ. Like, I don't know what songs to play after the next one.
But at that point, it's kind of like the music you listen to right now. Like this is how now they doing it. That's how DJ think now. If I'm at a club and the club vibes is more so the age of 24 to like 34, I know I just need to play what's in that era. And it's now like I said, it's easy as it is. As long as it mix, it'll go. If I play your favorite song, what would be your favorite song? What do you like to hear when you go out?
Like right now?
Yeah. If you was to go out somewhere and you just you have
I'll Get It Back in Blood.
Okay.
And I don't know why.
Say Get It Back in Blood.
Yeah, and you know what? Anyway.
So that being your go-to record.
Yeah.
So what is another record you like to listen to?
I would say I am a fan of The Baby. I do like The Baby as well.
So, prime example. If I was to play Black in Blood and you feeling it, all I have to do is to come back with something that mixed with it that's in that era. So you said The Baby. I can come back and play Masterpiece by The Baby.
And I'll be like, oh, he
hit. Exactly. Exactly.
Because I like those two songs in a row.
Exactly. I played them two songs for you. So you would be like, he's doing a good job.
I would.
Realistically, I'm just playing stuff that's just popular
like,
right now.
Who's this DJ? I would.
I'm just playing music that's popular. But when you DJing, that's what we call record players, people who do that. Record players and DJs. Now when you're DJing, you're going to hit everybody. Let's say you're in the club and you got people that's 40 years old and people in there that's 25 years old.
Right.
If you can hit everybody that's in the club with every genre, every era of music, you're a DJ. Because you can cater to any crowd.
See, I don't know if I could. Yeah. And you got to talk to them, you got to interact.
Exactly. But now they got hosts.
I don't know no words to no songs. Like I go to karaoke a lot, but I don't know the words.
I don't know no words.
They Get It Back in Blood. Those are the only words to that song I know. If you play that song, you will continuously hear me say "Get It Back" and brr.
Hey, you like my son? That's all. We be in the party. Come on, you like Get It Back in Blood.
Brr. Yeah.
I'm like, I have to look behind me like. Really?
I don't know none of the words. None of them. I don't know. I feel like when I turned like 27, I just stopped learning words to certain songs. I really did.
But that's how times go though. Like back then, you would have to have the right music playing it at the right time. Now it's more like as long as they hear it and you playing all the stuff that they currently hearing, you're doing a good job. And some DJs don't know how to, because it's different parties now. You got those old school 80s parties. You have the 50-year-old parties or the 50th birthday or 40th. Yeah. Some DJs don't never do those gigs because they don't know the music.
Because they don't know.
But they know how to turn up a crowd that's either their age up into a certain extent. They'll do all the new school, but when it comes to
they turn they self up. You ain't really gotta do too much interacting with them.
So therefore, you would be a good record player if you could just play all the stuff they want to hear. You would be a good record player.
I would. So, but I can't say no words though. That's where I'm that's where they gonna fault me at.
But then you got friends though that
I
just
do.
be like, you
I
know
do.
what? Give me the mic, bro. You
Yeah.
do that, I got you.
Yeah.
And they'll just get up there saying any random stuff, and people be like, okay, yeah.
I don't know. My friends know the words because they always look at me and I be like,
But that's the thing. Being a host ain't even about just knowing the words of the song. It's
Yeah.
just it's like a DJ. It's just like if you can interact with the people, just like being an artist. You can interact with the people, you're good.
correct.
That's one thing I learned from my dad though. He could DJ and interact with the people on the microphone. That's why at a certain point he was like, how you gonna be a rapper? Because at that point, like you're saying, I could do any gig you asked me to do. But I couldn't pick up the mic and talk for nothing because I wouldn't know what to do, what to say, or what. But he could do all of that. He told me it's about talking about what people, are experiencing. So if I could do that, if you can learn how to do that, you'd be good. But I could never do it. That's why he was like, how you gonna be a rapper but don't talk on the mic? Because I never did it. He'd be like, oh, say something. No, I'm good. I'll spin the records. You talk. How about that? But that's just how it went for me. So that's why I'm like, in different eras and different times, that's how things went. That's why I say nowadays it's so easy. Because you can just buy a controller.
I don't know if it's that easy.
It sounds like it's not. But I've seen people become DJs over. My bad. Let me rephrase that because I'm disrespecting a lot of people that are real DJs and I'm disrespecting the crowd. There's a lot of people that are record players. That's how record players become overnight.
But you know what? Sometimes, like you said, now when I go to a club, it's a DJ in the booth, but it's a host that
Just walking
sing the
around.
songs and all that type of stuff. Yeah, like I can't sing no songs. I can play them, yes, but I don't know none of the words.
Exactly. But they got somebody who do that now. At that time, I had to learn it. Because I was shy. Like I'm a shy person. Like I'm just a chill, laid back person, though. You know what I mean? Like at some point,
I don't know if you shy.
I wouldn't say shy. Put it like this: I just adapt to my environment. So if I get around people that can crack jokes, I can kind of blend and fit in. You know what I mean? I might not be the best person who can crack a joke, but I know how to fit in with that. I know how to. So that's what I had to learn. I had to just learn how to, adapt. So matter of fact, recently somebody just asked me that. It's like, man, are you always this laid back? Yeah. Unless, I'm in a situation where, like, if I become and people laugh at me, and shout out to Mookie Tolliver, because he always one of the people that talk about this. When I'm an artist, because it's like I click into that person, being an artist when I'm on stage. I will come out a totally different person than what you would normally see. I come out jumpy, amped up, ready to go.
When I see your videos and performances, and then when I see you here, I'm like, I don't know if this is the same
This
guy.
ain't the same person.
Same guy.
Because I would come out skipping. He always talk about, he say, bro, you came out skipping. And when I do that, I just be feeling it. I just feel the environment, so I just come out enjoying myself.
If you've ever seen me do karaoke, you will say the exact same thing. When I say I swear I could sing, I got an 8-octave voice range, and I could dance and everything. But when I watch it back, I'm like, oh.
I don't know. That ain't me.
But in a moment, but in a moment, my nigga, I'm the best performer out there. So I get it.
So you just had those times that you just click into character. That's what it is. You just click into character.
Yeah.
So that's what it is with me. So that's why I'm like, man, I just click. So that's why I say in that time, in that era, is different from this time, because in that time and era, you couldn't just do this and get away with it. People would talk about you. Nowadays, people just be like, oh, okay,
that's
cool.
the DJ.
Exactly. Yeah, cool. Then
they don't expect that from the DJ, rather.
Right. It's like the requirements to be a DJ and the expectations have considerably dropped.
Well, you know what? That's because we can stream our own music, so we can curate our own playlist. We really don't need a DJ.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Like I tell people all the time, I'm not heard about if you don't hire me to DJ for you. You know what I mean? Like I'm not mad at you. Because at the end of the day, you could just, because all you really want is to play music.
Correct.
So you could do that yourself. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna give you my experience and
But if I have an event and I hire a DJ, I expect them to interact with the crowd. Like I expect a whole DJ experience.
You want the
I expect a couple of songs, and then I expect the St. Louis breakdown, and then I expect the Ratchet breakdown. Like that's when I think of DJing. Like I can't do that. Like I can play a couple of songs that's hot right now, and you know, how long is this supposed to last? Like, you know, I'm done. But
he like, okay, it's
yeah,
done.
like what y'all want? You know what I'm saying? But a DJ can read the crowd and know how to change the tempo of the music, and again, the interaction. Like I don't know how to do that. For one, I don't know none of the words to the song. I don't know how the words go together.
When you break it down like that, it'll make a person think like, yeah, it's a lot to it.
Yeah, like I take no one's job for granted. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I can't, because the more research you do about what other people do, the more you learn that it's a lot more to it. Like you said, how you even explained it. You just play some records and, you know, Ricky, and it go to the world. It's so much more than that.
It very is. That's how it looks to people.
Right.
But when I break it, like you said, if I could break it down piece by piece to you, you would be like, that's too complicated. I ain't doing that.
Yeah, I'm not finna do all that.
Just like with you.
And I gotta be on time.
Exactly.
Like it's a time limit.
Like, it would make you feel like that, because you be like, man,
yeah,
because he jammed for 20 minutes and I'm tired of this right
yeah,
now.
like I played 4 songs and I'm tired.
Right, like, but some DJs you get, they 4 plus hours. You know what I mean? Some people be like, I had somebody call
like,
me and be like,
work.
I need you to DJ for me for 7 hours. I was like when you're a DJ, you get them questions in your head like, I don't mind doing it, but what the hell
am I gonna
play
hours?
for 7 hours?
You're gonna have to repeat some shit.
There's gonna be a lot of repeats, because they ain't gonna want to hear 7 hours worth of music. Because I can go, like I said, I have on my laptop alone, I have over 500,000 songs. Over 500 easily. You know what I mean? And I can go from every era. I can go from the 70s with the Temptations. I can go from the 80s with, you know, Planet Rock and all of that. I can go to the 90s with Tupac, Big. I can go with Craig, with all that
and
stuff.
Mix and transition all that in.
I can go early Nelly, early Cash Money, anything you would want to hear. But the problem is, when people hire you for an event, and it's that long, they only want this sound, this amount of music from here. They only want 2000 to 2005. It's a lot of music, but it ain't that much music for 7 hours. It's not gonna work. But they want it, and then when you start like, okay,
I mean, unless you cross the genres.
Yeah, but that still ain't 7 hours worth of music. Because when you say cross the genres, that's a good one. I like that. Problem is, they only want maybe two songs that's out of each genre. So if I go and I stay in that, okay, let's say if I go over to pop, right?
Yeah.
I come out of hip hop to go to pop. They only gonna probably want to hear maybe 3 pop records because they didn't heard it. Then they want me to go either back or they want me to go somewhere else. So I can't even play all my pop record because once I get to doing it, they gonna be like, nah, I ain't want to hear that. What is you doing? And it could be a good record, but they don't know it. They don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it right then. Yeah.
So it's only so much music I can play in 7 hours. Now if you just like, hey, we having a fun day outside, that point you leaving me open to just say play whatever, because now I'm gonna have people from the 40s that just want to hear maybe, you know, the 90s rap.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna have people who want to hear maybe Temptation, but I can cater to all of that within 7 hours. I don't have to be like, okay, drop this one, drop that. It's enough music for me to do that.
So do you leave the booth and, you know, mingle with
you
the
can
folk?
set it up like that. You know, sometimes when DJs, you know, have gigs, you know, if I'm bored at home one day, I'll make a mix. A fun mix. It's just what I feel like her. And you could play that mix while you out there. You know what I mean? And that mix could cater to whoever's out there. Might not cater to every single person out there, but it's gonna cater to at least a nice variety of people where it'll still work. And then, you know, you get your food as a DJ. The perks about being DJs though, you get free food.
You should.
You get the drinks, you get everything free. Because if you hire me for your event, knowing you're not gonna be like, alright, this chicken plate gonna cost you $20. You're gonna be like, hey, hold on, DJ, what you need? You need anything? You good? Da da da. I'll be like, hey man, you know what? I am a little hungry. You be like, don't even worry about it. Hey, give him the best plate in the house. For free. So that's a perk about being a DJ. But you know, like I said, it's you gotta have the determination. You gotta have the love to be a DJ. Because other than that, you would be like some DJ who DJ for probably 3 years and be like, yeah, I'm done with it. I don't want to do this no more. But I've been in it 20 plus years, and then you got people who came in before me that's still DJing right now.
And you have to keep up with the music. I think that's another thing that I don't know if I could do either. Like I said, I know a couple of these songs out here, you know, because they be my shit. But if you play anything else from Pooh Shiesty, I'm not going to know it.
What is this?
Yeah. If you play anything else from Lil Durk, I'll be like, what, who? Like,
this ain't the same one I'm listening to.
even if you put some pictures up there, I'm not gonna know who they are because I don't watch videos. So Pooh Shiesty, you could be Pooh Shiesty for all the fuck I know. Like, I don't watch.
You would know is that Get It Back in Blood.
Yeah, cause that's my shit.
Yeah, it's a lot to it. Like you said, you got to keep up with the time.
Yeah.
As time moves, and that's why I said about the technology thing. Time has, definitely advanced with technology. Now, if I'm DJing, if somebody like, hey man, I want, to DJ, I got a TV screen, I'm liable to tell you, oh, you got an HDMI port on the back? Let me hook my computer up to that as well. I can play videos of me DJing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm, like you said, the Back in Blood record, I can play that song and have the video playing at the same time in sync.
I've never seen that video.
And I can mix a little dirt song.
Another video in there?
I can mix it like I would if I was in the club, and it'll mix on your TV the same way.
That's nice.
So it'll be like Get It Back in Blood, and every chance I get, you'll be seeing both of them videos coming together. One's fading out, one's coming in.
Right.
And then it's...
Now, I have seen that. Like I say, it'd be on the wall and I don't really pay attention, but
you will see that.
But I've seen it,
But then the audio from what I'm playing that you're hearing out the speakers is going to be timed with the stuff that you see on the TV. So you're going to see that
skill.
So that's how times. But that's how times.
But see, I can't do that. You see, I just had this fucking issue with this sound. So you're not gonna sit here, and I'm not gonna let you keep saying DJing is easy.
It can be easy as long as you're willing to learn it. Let's say that. If you're willing to learn it, it can get easy. It's just a lot of stuff to it. Goes with anything. You know what I mean? So it's just like that. But as far as times now with DJing, it's easy. Like people be just like, I can go with it.
Okay, so we talked about DJing a lot. So or would you rather be a DJ or would you rather be a rapper? I'd
rather be both. Being a good rapper. I'm the only reason why I say that because I know what you're kind of meaning, but being a rapper is kind of like, okay, I can give people what they want without having to be behind these turntables, right? Now, me being a DJ, I know what kind of music will work at certain gigs or certain parties. So with me being an artist, this is how I feel like I got a good benefit. Me being an artist, I can put out a pop record, but I know exactly how to make the pop record because I played the pop records that are hot or that are good. So the same thing with the club music. When you go to a club, you hear the ratchetest songs. I know how to make those because I know what they want to hear. So I know what beat to pick because I'm like, yep, that be the work because I know it got that in it. So that's how I say both. But if I had to just really choose one, I would probably have to go with, that's a hard one. Now that I think about it, it's hard because I love both of them.
That's why I asked. It's
hard because I love both of them. DJing.
I mean, because I can't imagine you getting to Jay-Z level and somebody booking you for their birthday party. So obviously, one path.
I would say it would probably.
Or I can't imagine you being DJ Khaled and somebody booking you for a bar mitzvah. The paths.
At some point, one's gonna have to go one way.
Right.
And I think it would probably be the artist side. And the only reason why I said it'd be the artist side because I feel like I've accomplished everything as a DJ that I set out to do. So now it would just be me doing it for love. Like I don't be like, like you don't probably see me booked up at every single club. Not because I'm not capable of doing it, just because that's not what I want to do anymore as a DJ. I've done that part. I was in the clubs at 13 years old, DJing in a club that I had no business in.
When you said I was 13, we knew you ain't.
But I was able to do it because of my skill level, and the other parts being my dad
and your daddy.
They like, you know what, we could use him in the club when you're not here. So, but I've experienced that club life. I experienced the strip club at 15 because I've seen strippers that are like, I'm only saying this because I've DJ'd a Gotti concert at the Rolex and he had strippers there. So I've seen all of it. To me, it's like, I don't want that. If anything, I would probably say I'd have to be on DJ Khaled level to be like, okay, I want to stay a DJ.
Right. Because
at that point, I have not experienced that life of a DJ, but I've experienced the normal life that you would see a DJ go through. And I feel like I'm past that. I don't want to do that no more. That's why I think that's really why being an artist is the next exciting thing for me. Because I think after I accomplish everything as being an artist, I think I would be a movie star or something. You know what I mean? Like I'll switch over to being a director or something in a movie. So it's just like once I hit that goal that I've reached, or that goal that I've set for myself as whatever I'm doing, I think I'll move to something else.
I guess that's
the best way.
That's how it goes. I mean, that's how it goes for Killa Bee. And when I say that, I mean because you are so, what's the word I'm looking for? You are seem to always want to grow and experience and learn something new. Like I guess for me, I kind of know what I'm gonna be doing. You know, if please let this take off. You know, and I'll be a media mogul. But if I don't grow no further than where I am now, my day job, I know where that goes. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like tomorrow I'm saying, you know what, I'm gonna quit this and I'm gonna go be this. Mm-hmm. But you seem to welcome that challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, there is a certain ceiling that I can go professionally. It just is. So, but once I get there, I don't know if I'll say, hey, let me go try to do this. I feel like I'm gonna sit there at the ceiling and
just be like, I'm cool.
I did it. Right. You know?
It's just like,
I admire that though. Like that's a admirable trait. Like I don't have that. I guess that's why I'm not an artist, because I once I feel like even with Please Advise, it's my baby, and I do have goals. Obviously, I had goals when I started. My goals are ever expanding as I continue to meet goals. But in my mind, I can see a ceiling.
Yes.
And once I hit that ceiling, I don't know if I'm gonna say, "Whew, okay, let me direct." I know.
Right. You don't know it, but you probably would do it, but you don't know it. You know what I mean? You like,
but you know you will though.
Yeah. Like, but that's me. I like to experience new things.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's inspiring. Like I don't know it. I mean, I have drive and ambition, of course, but I don't know if I have and I do got a couple of years on you, so maybe I'm kind of settled in my old man ways. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I am settled in my ways.
Jay-Z, he up there and he into everything. Rick Ross, same thing.
Yeah, but he has, billions of dollars, so he has to.
He like, you know what? You're right.
He has.
I gotta find somewhere to put this stuff.
Right. I gotta find something to do. You know what I'm saying? So he has to. But unlike me, I'm not saying I live paycheck to paycheck, but I need my check.
Right.
So,
yes.
So
money make it go.
Right. So, but yeah, okay. So before we wrap up, and we talked about the DJing extensively. We talked about the rapping. Yep. Now we're gonna have to talk about the producing. You kind of hit at it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So what have you produced that I may have heard? That's what I'll ask.
Honestly,
besides your own.
Oh, well, see, that's the thing. With the producing, I was more so my own producer.
Okay.
Because remember, I needed beats. I wasn't worried about any other artists. You know what I mean? They probably had their connects on beats. I just was worried about me because I was actually This is another story. That's why I said how much time we got, because my experience as a person and all this stuff I've been through, it can go on for days. So I had a song, and remember I told you I formed a group with the guy who was like a sophomore. We had a song, and I wrote the song, and his brother was supposed to have made the beat. So I wrote the whole song. He wrote his verse, but I wrote the hook, and whatever, we did that. We performed the song for Young LA at this concert he had in East St. Louis at this club called TV1. One of the executives, the A&R reps for Atlantic Records, knew my dad. Okay. And my dad was like, yo, my son and his friend got a record. And he was playing it at the club. Even after we performed it, everything, they was playing it everywhere, whatever. DJs that knew him, that respected him. Right. The song started picking up, like I said, just club wise. He took it to the dude, was like, hey, my son and his friend got this record, you should check it out. He sent it to me, he's like, dude, I like this. We were young at the time, so he's like, we can see them grow with the career, whatever. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, matter of fact, when I get back into town, I want to meet with you, your son and his friend, whatever, we could talk about what we could do.
Okay.
So I told my friend we did that, and he's like, man, we good. So by this time, I'm letting my other people hear, my family, you know, the ones that don't go out, they hear it, they like, man, this is hot. Though I let my cousin hear it, he was like, yo, this beat nice. He's like, I like the song. He said, this beat nice. Sound like a Manny Fresh beat though. I was like, oh, okay. You know, I was happy because I'm like, you know,
right.
You know. And then I let my other people hear it. They was like, yeah, this hot, but this Manny Fresh beat, this is from Plies album, I think. Definition of Real, that I let my pants hang low. I was like, I had never heard it. So when he told me, I was like, let me go find it.
Right.
Found it, the exact same beat. Only thing was, his brother had a snippet of the beat. You know, at this time, it was still, you know, you couldn't get access to like beats like YouTube where you could type in instrumental and play the whole instrumental. Okay. You had to get the snippet.
Yeah.
So we extended the beat and all that. So the intro came in different from what Plies did, but the beat was all it is.
Yeah.
So when I found that out, I was like, no, you're not finna tell me that. So by that point, I talked to my friend. I said, man, I thought your brother made the beat. He said, yeah, that's what he told me. I'm like, but he gave it to us. I say that's probably why he was so willingly to give it to us, because it was his.
Yeah.
So he was like, man, I'm gonna talk to him. He talked to him. He's like, oh yeah, man, you know, that was a beat I had downloaded. I didn't know that was that one. You know, I was like, that's why I started producing when that situation happened. Because we had technically, we would have possibly. I'm not gonna say we did, but we would have possibly could have had a deal off of that song with Atlantic Records. But since the beat went out, we couldn't do it. So my dad had to call the dudes like, hey, you know, they working on some more stuff we want you to hear instead of that. They was like, all right, you know, just let me know. By this time, my dad didn't know the beat wasn't, you know, he didn't know it was his either. So he was like, you know what, that ain't gonna be a good look.
Right.
Y'all doing type of stuff like. So at that point, I was like, you know
from the very beginning.
Exactly. So at that point, I was like, I'm making all my own beats from scratch. So at that point, I started making my own beats. So I made, you know, other beats that I had before that never got released because again I didn't know the music business at that point. I just been making a song. Right. So that's how that happened. That's how I started producing the beats.
Okay. So when you say produce a beat, because again I ask questions from complete ignorance, because when I see like little clippings on YouTube and stuff, you know, they had a screen up and they, you know, doom.
Yeah, man, just trying to find, you know, certain sounds, certain keys. Yeah. Is
that what making the beat is? Like, I'm so serious. Like, okay, perfect example. Like, what is it? It's hard out here for a pimp.
Yeah.
So how they just made that?
Yes, that is the producer creativity part of it. That's how they, whatever sounds like right now, people initially hear sounds in their head. Might not be a beat that you didn't heard, but it's just the sound. You be like, you be just vibing to something, you be like, what the hell am I vibing to? But it's something in your head playing. Okay. That's what that part of producing coming from. You just sit down and you be like, okay. And you just start messing with keys. You possibly trying to go off a beat that you heard in your head that you done made up. So you trying to make that beat. Or you could just be starting from scratch and be like, you know, some people start with just the bass line, the bass and the clap. And then they hearing something else, they're like, okay. Dun 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 dun. And then they like, okay, so they start playing those, dun, 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 dun. But now they're looking for certain sounds that'll make the perfect sound that'll sound good. So if you listen, I don't know if you listen to people like Michael Jackson or Prince, how they made the songs, how they start feeling it. It's a process to it. That's how you originally feel about it. You be like, okay, this sounds good, but I need the perfect way for this to come out where it ain't annoying to people. Yeah. So that's what you start doing. Then you start finding, okay, so now that you might have your percussions, whatever going, now you're trying to figure out how can you add to it to bring it out more. So then you start adding little sounds that, you know, you might have a hit hat come in there like, you just start hearing stuff. So at that point, by then, once you got that bass, that just whole foundation going, you just start adding to a beat. And you add so much to the point where you like, okay, now you go back and listen to it, you're like, well, I'll probably need that. We take that sound out. Or maybe just turn it down. But that's really how your beat process go. But nowadays, like I said, since time elevated, you just need something with a low end that has some bass in it, a nice clap that'll make it work, and just a couple, maybe a couple of sounds going.
You do need some sounds. The sound effects sell it.
Like people think about like K Styles when he came out with Booty Me Down. Yeah. That beat was so simple.
Yeah.
And the only thing
I don't know the difference from. See, I don't know the difference from the beat from. Again, when I ask questions, I ask because I literally don't know.
Oh no, and that's really how it works, though. You know, it just depends on you as a producer, what you feeling at that moment. It's just like being an artist. What you feel at that moment is what you're gonna do. Like me, if I feel like I want to make an R&B record, I'm gonna do that. You'll be like, why you make an R&B? Because I felt like doing it at that point. And then it makes it so easy because then I speak about life experience, my own personal relationship. So if I'm talking about a breakup song, it's talking about me breaking up with somebody, and it might not be me. I might have got my little heart crushed, you hear me? But I know how to explain that story.
Right.
And people might go through the same thing.
They do.
And they'll be like, man, he hit it right on the head.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, and the same thing with you. You know, if you have a thought in your mind, you start really, it's like, if you start a business,
mm-hmm.
you be like, man, I want to start a business where I'm doing this for people. You're going to start doing it. You're going to start researching into that. And you're going to start putting it together. That's how the beat works. You start putting stuff together. And once you got it all good and going, now you putting it to the world. Like, here you go. And that's how the beat process, go. Sometimes people collab with people on beats, though. You know, you get maybe Take Keith to probably work with Scott Storch or Timbaland, somebody like that. You'll hear two producers because they can work together. They can put some ideas together. So that's really how that process goes for me. But I'm assuming that's how it is for everybody because that's really what they're doing.
Yeah, like I said, I have not been to very many studios, but when I have been to studios and people say, hey, my boy making a beat, and then I see what he doing, and literally
be just that.
Yeah, and I'd be like, I don't know if I could do that, but it looks simple, but I know what I can do and what I can't do.
Right.
Say
that's one thing that you can't do.
No, I can't do that.
You never know, man. You start being like, you know what, I'm gonna dab a little bit in here.
I'm an old man though. I don't have enough left to put over there.
Right. And it might just be for stuff that you might like though, like with like what you doing, please advise. You know what I mean? You really want to do it, so you're gonna go to the fullest extent to make sure it can be what you want it to be.
Correct. Now I do get that. I definitely get that analogy. So I definitely get that.
It can be the same thing with whatever it is. It might not be you. I can't persuade you to be like, okay, try to be a producer. Right. But you could probably be a director. And you'd be like, you might not see it now, but as you grow, with your company, you'd be like, you know what? I could let somebody else do it, and I sit back and just because you've already had that experience of coming up with how to get it going. Yeah. So you'll be like, oh, I know exactly how to do this. I see this, I see that. That's what a director does.
That is what the
director does. Just sits there. See, people think the director's the person who's shooting it. No, the director is not the person who's shooting.
The cameraman shoots.
Bingo. That's it. So the director is somebody just sitting in the chair like
and making sure you're telling the story the right way,
the way that they want it to be expressed. Right. That's it. And you direct it, and you might get to get it. Exactly.
Yeah, I could.
You can try. You never know until you try stuff.
That's true. Now that is true. You do never know till you try. This has been a great conversation. It really has been. I feel like I've gotten to know not only a rapper, I've gotten to know extensively about DJing, and I got to learn about producing. Like I have learned a lot through this whole episode, not only about you and how you kind of see things, your drive, your ambition, all those types of things, but I also got to learn a lot of back end technicalities that I don't think I would have even thought that I would have been interested in, like just how you explain how DJing works. Like before, exactly, I probably saw it just how you said, it's easy, you go up there, you put the playlist, you press play, and you jump around to the crowd. But when we got to talking about it and I really thinking about it, it's a lot more to that, a whole lot more. So I thank you for sharing that. Definitely. I thank you for having a conversation today. You've been very open, very sharing. You told, I think, your entire story up until
and that's just the music portion of it.
And that's just the music point, exactly. But I mean, we did talk about, a lot about you too. I learned, how much you respect and admire your father. I've learned, you definitely came up in East St. Louis. Definitely learned that. I learned that, you've been DJing for a long time. Like, these are things that I didn't know about Killa Bee when I did my research before. Like, I mean, we talked, several weeks ago, so I knew you was coming for a while now. So I've had a lot of time to, look here, look there, link here, link there, and kind of, learn things about you that, if we had touched on today, I would have asked. But I feel like the conversation that we've had today has been so much more rewarding because, again, you've spoken about, what you love to do, and you took the time to explain it. Like, sometimes when I ask people questions, the camera might not see it, but I can see them looking at it like, nigga, what? But again, when I ask these questions, I'm not asking because I just want you to explain. I'm asking because I'm interested, for one, and for two, I don't fucking know.
Right.
And if I don't know, somebody out there might not know. And your explanation of it to me might spark their interest in it.
Yeah.
So and that's what it's about. There's the full circleness, I guess.
Yeah.
Of it.
I mean, giving somebody the insight about something, could create the next, big star. You could create the next big millionaire, the next successful business, the next Steve Jobs, whatever.
Right.
Just giving people that insight will, kind of give them that extra push if they interested in whatever.
Right. And even before we got on, how you spoke about, just having a chance to help somebody else. That's what it's all about. It really is. If only, like even when I made the analogy earlier, if only one person watched one show and gave one piece of helpful advice, I feel like it was all worth it.
Yeah.
I really do. I really do.
Everybody think it's all about, oh man, this and that, you ain't doing. If one person walk away with more knowledge than they had before,
it was all worth it.
Exactly.
It was all worth it. I promise it was.
Exactly.
I promise it was. Like, sometimes even when people give me feedback and they say, hey, I watched this episode and, it helped me through this. Sometimes I take it with a grain of salt because, people are weird and you really don't know. But I like to believe that some people do take away stuff from, the episodes, because, again, it's therapeutic. For me, it is. It really is. Before I started doing this, I didn't do a lot of sharing. I know a lot of people, but a lot of people don't know me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I've been able to share a lot of things about my life, about myself, open up more. But anyway, it's not about me. It's definitely about you. But before we do close out today, I do want to, give you the last couple of minutes to kind of shout out people, your team, let us know what you got going on, all of that type of stuff. So,
first of all, I definitely want to give a shout out to my family, my wife, my son. They keep me motivated, even when you be in them times where you like, man, I'm about done with this. I can't go no more. They give you the motivation. And me seeing my son definitely give me that motivation. My wife being the inspiration to motivate me to keep going and not give up is definitely a thing. All my DJ friends, everybody that I know that's a DJ, that play my records, that show me love, that support whatever I put out with branding, shirts, whatever. I want to thank them. I definitely want to shout out the BFE Music label, because again, without the label, we wouldn't be who we are. So definitely want to shout them out. As far as the music though, I definitely want to tell y'all to go grab that new single that's coming out called Spend It. It drops on the 1st of October. Y'all gotta go grab that.
It will already be out by the time this plays. If not,
when you see this, go get it. Yes. Spend It by Killa Bee featuring RSL Naughty. You know what I'm saying? He's a YouTuber. He do his thing too. He's a gamer, YouTuber. He fashion, man. He do so much stuff. So y'all definitely gotta go check him out. Go follow him on all the platforms. RSL Naughty. You can find me on all platforms as The Real Killa Bee. Now I spell mine the actual way. TheRealKillabee. Everything you got, you're gonna find me there with that tag. So, but the new record, they definitely need to grab that. Oh, right now y'all could be streaming that Bounce featuring Trap Becker, Mr. AKA Birthday Chick. The one time for the.
I heard the whole certified.
So you heard that album, the certified.
I knew you was
grab
coming.
That too.
I knew you was coming. What kind of host would I be? And not to have any reference material. Like I obviously knew he was coming, so I had to listen. I mean, and like I said, at first when I first started listening to it, it was just because, you know, I knew you was coming. But like I said, it gave me that, you know, old Saint Lunatic vibe, and it spoke to me. And I said, let me, and like you said, it does seem to touch the Certified, the whole album of work. I think it's what, 8 songs on there? Yeah. When you when you listen when you listen to all 8 songs, you can get different, I ain't gonna say genres, eras of music. Like I can definitely hear the early 2000s in there. I definitely hear, you know, the one you got with the chick. I
know what you're talking about. It's
Killa Bee. That's not her name.
Lala.
I told you I don't know no words and I don't know no names. But
I got a couple few features on there. Melanin Doll.
Melanin Doll. That's the one. That's the one. I feel like that's very now today.
Yeah, that's sick joint. Shout out to Melanin Doll for that one too. She did her thing on that record.
She really did. The one with Mookie, of course, that one, you know,
that's my
takes
brother.
me back to mid-90s. So, like I said, when you listen to your whole album of work, you can definitely tell that it was curated. You can tell that it wasn't just, you know, hey, let's go in here, let's make some songs for right now, let's put this out. You know, you can see the care into the project. I will put it that way. I'll put it that way.
Putting that album together was very fun. I'm gonna just be like, because I was able, again, being an artist, I'm able to control my, you know, creative process. I'm able to control what I want to do. I was able to reach out, and again, I also help other people. You know, I reach out to other artists, you know, putting them on records and just doing all that. And it's not about what can they provide for me. It's giving them opportunity that I was never given. You know what I mean?
You said that earlier.
I can't always be that person that just be like, oh man, I ain't gonna do that. If I can help a person, whether I benefit from it or not, I feel like I told you, if you take off and do something, and I may never meet you again or something.
You did say that.
I would not be like, man, forget. I will be happy. I will be like, you gonna be on the next talk. You gonna have your own talk show. I'm gonna be there like, hey, what's up, man?
And I'm gonna say,
congratulations.
Come on,
you know what I mean? I ain't gonna be like, oh man, you just gonna leave me out. Like, no, I'm gonna be so happy for you. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's like you said. That's what it's about. Helping the next person, whether you benefit from it or not.
Whether you benefit or not. Listen, when I tell y'all that he ain't lying. Like he said that way before the cameras was even rolling. Like what he is saying now, he said before. I believe him to be a very genuine person. He has shown me nothing but respect since he's been here. It's been a great conversation. I don't even want to keep going because I feel like we'll keep going. Talking for hours.
It would just go.
So again, thank you so very much for your time today. I definitely appreciate you coming through. I'll make sure, you know, all your social medias and all of that is handled, taken care of. But again, thank you so very much today.
No problem. We just gonna need you to. We're gonna do another. We're gonna do a part 2 to this one.
Okay.
We can do that.
I'm all about part 2s.
We can touch up on what we didn't get to touch up.
We can, because again, like I said, when we started, I said I don't know where the conversation was gonna go. I didn't write no questions down. We're gonna go where we go. But I feel like we've expressed a lot. I feel like I know you. So I know if I know you, they know you.
Exactly. That's a good feeling, man. You know,
right?
Meeting you for the first time and you like, man, I can hang out with him. He cool right there.
I am cool.
Like I can hang out with him.
I drink my tequila. I talk my shit, and that's it.
That record called Talk My Shit. So that's even better. You know, like I said, we gonna do that. Y'all make sure y'all put in the comment box that y'all want to see part 2.
Please.
Y'all put that in the comment box. We gonna make it happen.
We damn sure are.
We gonna make it happen.
And until next time, stay tuned.
Please advise.
I got bitches, I got bands, I ain't scared to spend it.
If we ain't talking about no money, I can't comprehend it.
If she ain't thick, if she ain't fine, I ain't fucking